Hey, so I moved houses, and the last 2 weeks of my life have been pretty ridiculous. I've never moved a full house before, and I've gotten to see how many things I've accumulated as an adult living on my own and establish all these new systems for organizing. There have been enormous amounts of trial, error, and overwhelm. And I'm the kind of person that unpacks their suitcase as soon as I get home off of a red eye flight. Like, no matter how long I've traveled, I'll put it away. And like when I get to a hotel, I put my clothes in the dresser drawers as soon as I get there. I also have OCD, so that contributes, but I just have to tell you that it's been a deep discomfort to live like this and know that we're still weeks away from being set up. And the truth is that I could be set up. I could be set up in the easy way and just put things away somehow, anyhow. But I want to do it with systems and flow and beauty. And if I want to do it that way, it requires patience and discomfort. And that's really a lesson for life. And really, almost anything we do in life that's worth something requires a bit of discomfort and patience, and it's not easy, which is why we really stay with our, existing patterns. So today I want to share with you how and why to question things, why your brain doesn't want you to change, and how to create new neural pathways with new habits. It's really like an inside scoop into some coaching, like one-on-one coaching with me. So let's get into this. So the other day I was ordering groceries and I asked Matt if he needed anything. And he said he wanted some milk for his protein things that he makes in the mornings. And I asked him, what kind does he get? And he said 2%. And I said, can I ask you why you choose 2% milk? And he said, because my mom bought it when I was a kid. And I said, so you've just never changed that? And he was like, I don't know. That's just the cap that we got. And I thought this is such a good example of subconscious programming. We don't really think to ask about things until we are confronted with the necessity or the curiosity about it. We do this with so many things, or we don't do this with so many things, right? And I didn't judge, because I know I do this with plenty of things. But there are many other kinds of milk that he could be using for the thing that he wants to do with that. He's not even tasting it. He's making it into a protein shake and he's taking in all these calories, right? So I said, what if you tried this kind? And he said, I don't care. And that's the thing. He doesn't care, right? So we got him the other kind and he doesn't know the difference. My point is that a lot of times we do things without questioning them because we're running on autopilot, where our subconscious is just like letting us pick that thing, and that's fine. It's working for us. Maybe Matt's mom got that milk because her mom got that milk. And maybe her mom got that milk because that was the kind of milk that the store had. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times these decisions that we make aren't really decisions. They're things that were chosen for us. So if you look backwards, you might find that the reason the thing that you are doing or using was chosen for a really good reason. And maybe that product or system really does work. And it was deliberate, and it still is great, and it's a great choice still. But you might find out that it's actually not good anymore, or it's not good for what you need anymore. Everything needs to be questioned. Everything. But everything does not need to be changed. That's the thing. A lot of times you'll find out that there's a lot of things that are working just fine. Just fine. But if you don't open the lid and look at the cap, you might not know that something could be cheaper, something could be done better, something could be replaced, something could be moldy. Now, once you identify what needs to be changed, whatever this is, whether it's moldy or whatever, you might actually start going through stages of grief because you're realizing, oh, I have to change something about my current reality. And the way that I define grief is when your interpretation or understanding of reality changes. It's not just a death, okay? It's when you interpret something as different now. I changed this meaning when I was dating con artists, okay? Because it's not that that person died, it's that I found out that they were like literally a different person. Okay, so that's what I mean. It's like your job is different now, or the friend that you had completely changed their personality. It's like you're not mourning the fact that they're dead, it's that they're kind of just gone. So yeah, we're not losing milk, but you're losing this thing. And maybe him losing 2% milk is even sentimental because his mom is no longer with us, right? So there's always like these little kind of like attachments to things. You might start noticing that you're going through these stages of denial and bargaining, even with the milk. That's how we are. So the denial could be like, there's nothing wrong with drinking 2%, or this is stupid, or other people do it. And then bargaining can be like, I'll just drink it a little. I'll just drink a couple more months of this. Or I mean, it's easier, it's cheaper, or whatever. Bargaining and denial can also look like making excuses and just finding reasons to keep doing something even after you've identified the fact that you want to make a different choice, a newer choice, and that choice has the benefits to support the goal that you're trying to accomplish, aka your higher self. That's what people say, right? When people say that you're trying to, like, you're finding ways to quote unquote stay small, like a psychological term for that would be secondary benefits or secondary gains. And we talk about that in my second book, which you can get free access to when you join the Merriment Makers membership. But basically, these stages are your subconscious telling you that it's not safe to change because your subconscious loves those patterns. It loves the fact that all you have to do is look at the blue cap or whatever color it is and get that 2% milk. It loves it because your subconscious runs best when it's on autopilot. It doesn't run well when it's on new patterns because it doesn't know those yet. Second nature is to subconscious. Like, it is the same thing, okay? When you're on autopilot and you are, driving a car and you don't have to think about like if the blinker goes up to the right and down to the left and you get to just do that, your subconscious is like, yes, honey, yes, because I get to keep you safe and you don't have to think about that. So you get to use all of your conscious brain to pay attention to the cars and all the danger, okay? Honey, I got you. I got you on like all these second nature things. I fucking got you on this stuff. Don't worry about the blinkers. Don't worry about the mirrors and the settings. I got you on all that stuff, all right? Now, as soon as you have taken a setting of the systems of something that you know off of the subconscious and move it into the conscious state because it's new, your subconscious is like, no, please, safety, no, fear and danger, no. It's like gripping on to anything that it can keep its claws in because it can't keep you safe on that anymore. It's literally just like, please, 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 you fucking idiot. Do not, I swear to God, do not take milk off. Why are you trying to fuck up with the milk? Come on. We got like, it's like, think about all the, the storage in your phone. It's like, for what reason are you trying to fuck with milk? That is so stupid. Don't try to take a piece of the percentage of the storage out for milk that you don't have the RAM for that, you stupid idiot. Like, that's what it's doing. Now, your job is to make new neural pathways. And your subconscious can do that. You can do that. Your consciousness can do you are totally capable of doing this. But your subconscious is like, bitch, we are here to keep you safe. So how can you do this without being in a ton of pain and being inconvenient and feeling like it's taking forever? Well, I can give you tips to help you feel like you're set up for success. And I also can't promise you that it's not going to feel uncomfortable and inconvenient and that it is taking forever because it is still mindset. You get to decide. And also, things are just going to be uncomfortable. That's the thing. No matter what happens, you're putting in a new program and things just are uncomfortable. I'm not going to promise you anything. I'm just not. When we do something new, it's different, and different is uncomfortable. That being said, I am here to give you a lot of tips and a lot of steps. So let's start doing that. So the first thing are the 8 steps that apply to you no matter what your goal is for starting with a theory and the mindset. And I know that all of this might sound like really annoying, these first 8 steps, because they're all theory and they're all intellectual and mental, and you might want to blaze past this part and get to the tangibility. And I always say that the tangible rules over the theory, but you also cannot have one without the other. When I say tangibility rules over theory, I mean that don't sit on your ass. Okay, that's what I mean. I mean, you can't just have the shelf knowledge. That's what I mean. So cases like this, a lot of people want to jump into the practice without setting themselves up for success with the theory, and that's when you also get into trouble. So remember that you can't have one without the other. So let's pick something different than milk. Let's say that you want to start improving your posture. So step one is to just identify the goal you have. So we have done that. It's improving your posture, but you write it down. What is the goal that you have? Number two, why do you want to accomplish this goal? Okay, so what is this going to do for you? What is this going to help you with? What is this going to benefit your life with? So maybe you want to decrease the possibility of spine-related injuries or pain, getting a hump in your back. Maybe you want to increase your confidence. Maybe you want to get less headaches. I don't know. Whatever it is. Your motivation, the reason, the why. Number three, identify the fears you have with changing this part of your life. And you need to be brutally honest here. Is it going to be, it's like harder during the day for you to like worry about your posture and you're already tired. You're like, why am I gonna, it's like the RAM thing we were just talking about. Like, why are we gonna fuck with the RAM? I've already got so many things. Why is this the thing that I'm gonna worry about, right? It's gonna be annoying. This is the fear. This is the worries that you have. You're worried that if you start standing up straight, that your back muscles are just not gonna be strong enough, or your stomach muscles aren't gonna be strong enough to like literally support doing that all day. Or that your belly is gonna stick out of the bottom of your shirt if you stand up all the way, because right now you're slouching. Whatever it is, be very honest about what happens if you start standing up all the way, or whatever it is that your goal is. All right, so now number four is to create sub goals for each of those fears. What I mean is like to create solutions for everything that you just listed out. So if I said that I'm worried that my belly is going to stick out from the bottom of my shirt, maybe that means that I need to get a couple longer shirts. Maybe because I'm worried that I'm going to be already tired during the day, maybe that means I need to go to sleep earlier. Maybe I need to start doing some ab exercises, or maybe I just need to like wait and see if I'm actually, my abs are tired during the day. Now you want to identify any beliefs you have about what it would mean if you were to become someone who has accomplished this goal. If you now are someone who has good posture, do you believe that people who have good posture are snobby or narcissistic or mean? Do you have like any lingering beliefs or past experiences with people who have good posture and what it might mean for you to incorporate this as part of your personality and life? So write those down if there's anything. And then number 6 is to participate in shadow work, which that just means tools for personal development like EFT, tapping, mirror work, coaching, journaling, whatever, to work through those limiting beliefs so that you can kind of align your goal with your beliefs. Because if you believe that people who have good posture are mean, and then you become one, you're actually going to be in your own way. You're going to like kind of self-sabotage yourself from achieving that goal, because you're going to be like, I don't really want to become this because I believe that people are mean who do this. Or when you do that, you're going to become mean. So it's like one or the other you're self-sabotaging yourself with. These are the kinds of things that you want to just make sure that you can do before you get started. It's helpful, okay? You just want to make sure that this side of the street is clear. That's all. And if you don't understand like personal development tools, shadow work kind of stuff, those kind of resources are available in the Merriment Makers membership, or you can just work with me directly with coaching. Okay, and number 7 is to visualize yourself accomplishing this goal. Visualization is incredibly powerful. I mean, there's been amazing studies with sports and coaches who help their team to visualize winning and how that affects the actual outcome of the game. And ultimately, you would love to do this once a day, to imagine yourself with good posture, standing up straight. But you want to at least do this at the very beginning of the process, kind of like as you're setting yourself up for success, doing all of these things. Like after you've done all of this, just sit down and imagine yourself having good posture. And if you're somebody that has aphantasia, where you don't get visuals, what if you just draw yourself? And you can also just make a vision board or just print out a photo where you put your face on someone that represents the goal. It's important to use your face on a vision board, not just a random stock person, because it actually puts you into the vision. You don't want to visualize someone else achieving your goal. Use all that AI stuff in Canva to your advantage. And number 8 is to write an affirmation that you're going to say at the beginning of every day in the present tense as if it's already happened. Example, I have great posture, or I am grateful that I have great posture. Now, in terms of the tangible practice, After you've done all that, please do all that first. I know it's annoying. It's like administrative prerequisite stuff. Now we're going to create the habit of sitting and standing up straight, or whatever it is that your goal is. Remember, this is going to be different for everybody, because if your goal is to stop smoking versus standing up straight, the techniques of things are going to be very, very different. What I would do for standing up straight or posture, I would research posture techniques and exercises, set aside one time a day where I'm doing something like acute and like strengthening exercises specifically for posture. I would then think about my day and comb through it and think about where I sit or stand consistently and put up little written reminders in that space that say something like stand up straight or I have good posture, so that every time I sit and I see that bright post-it that I remember to stand up straight. So maybe like at my computer or where I do the laundry or cook or whatever. I could get one of those little buzzy bracelets, what are they called? Lumo Lift, that sends you a reminder when you're slouching, and wear that. Get ergonomic chairs and computer equipment, more supportive shoes, sign up for yoga, make limits of how long I'm sitting on my furniture at home, whatever. Like, the point of this podcast isn't about how to improve your posture. That's not what I'm teaching. This is about how to make a practice. So now you have a bunch of different things that you want to do, right? Plus all the things from the beginning, like getting longer shirts. And maybe now you're back to being overwhelmed. You're like, okay, so now we have all this beautiful stuff about like affirmations and we're clear about what it is that we want, but now I have all this extra shit that I have to do. I thought I was just gonna like stand up straight, but now I have to sign up for yoga and get a buzzy bracelet and whatever. So this is where, one, you can call in a coach like me to guide you every step of the way and assign you individualized homework and plans, or you can breathe and look at each of these things one by one. So take a look at this list and divide them into recurring daily and or weekly tasks, and then the one and done things. Okay, so for example, signing up for yoga will be a one and done task because you just have to do that once. But then going to yoga will be a recurring weekly task if you're doing that every Wednesday. Now, you have multiple lists and you need to sort them on some sort of calendar or scheduling system. So that can be a big paper calendar, or it can be Google Scheduler, or whatever that you use. Now, if something is a weekly appointment, you want to put it on the calendar every week. And you can do that recurring scheduling with Google. You can just write it out every week. It doesn't matter. If something is happening every day, though, you have two options. You can put it on the calendar every day. You can write it out, or you can put it recurring just like you did with a week, or you can create a daily to-do list that resets every day. If you're a digital person, you can set up a notepad or a spreadsheet, and you can kind of cross or exit off every day and then just kind of reset it. So this would be like a routine that you're doing every single day. If you want to, you can get as specific with this as you want. If you want to put on the buzzy bracelet, if you want to say the affirmation, if you want to make sure that you're doing your strengthening exercises, like whatever it is that you're doing every single day, you would just write this on the to-do list. And then if you're a paper person, you can also just write or print the to-do list and then laminate it. And if you don't have a laminator, you can also get those like hot sheets things that like stick together, or you can just use tape, like packing tape, and then just use a dry erase pen to cross things off. You put everything on a schedule though, even the one and done things, even the recurring things, it doesn't matter. Everything goes on a schedule. Everything. Like, when are you signing up for yoga? Put it on the thing. When are you shopping for more supportive shoes? Even if you're online shopping, it all needs to go on the calendar, and there needs to be a space for it. Because if you realize, oh, you know what? I have a long day at work that day. I have to pick up kids. I have to be here for the guy to come to install the da-da-da-da-da. I'm actually not going to have time to go shopping for shoes that day. Good. Now your shit is organized. I need you to actually have a calendar. Most people don't really have a calendar. You would be really surprised. So I need you to have a calendar, and I need you to schedule at least once a week. Take a look at your stuff. Also, you can do what I do if you want and have like a digital calendar as like a mass monthly thing, but then every day you move what it is that you're doing for your daily to-do onto like a little sheet of paper. I have like a little to-do book. It kind of looks like Blue's Clues, and it's like a little, notepad. And I just move what I'm doing to that to-do list. And I know that if it's longer than that page, then there's no way that I can physically accomplish it. So just whatever works for you. But overall, for a practice, for anything that you're trying to accomplish with a goal, you need a reminder, a routine, and a reward. So the reminder can be visual, it can be a sound, it can be, I feel like those are the main things that will prompt you, visual and sound. And then that is like something that ticks you off to start the routine. And then the routine is the actual tangible practice. So that is, actually moving yourself into sitting up straight or starting to go to yoga or doing your strengthening exercise or whatever it is. And then the reward is some sort of system that you set into place. Maybe it's feeling good. Maybe it's after 2 weeks of completing the routine that you get to go to a movie, or I don't know, like you get to figure that out. Okay, so here's some more tips for going through this process. I think there's 13 here. So first of all, as you're implementing your practice, things are going to get really uncomfortable. They just are. You're going to forget, fail, and get frustrated. And this is not meant to discourage you. It's just what's going to happen to everybody. Normalize it. 2, figure out what you need to get comfortable. You might find out that you need your desk set up a certain way before you feel comfortable sitting up straight, or like whatever it is. It doesn't matter why or what your quirk is. It might feel insane, and that's fine. Just allow that to be the order that you need things to happen in. Fix the desk and then fix your posture. That's great. Number 3, keep repeating. Repetition and consistency is the key to any habit. That's it. It doesn't matter if you missed the mark or you forgot or you fell off the horse or whatever. Just keep going. Just keep trying over and over and over again. Number 4 is just to try not to judge yourself. It's going to be easy to get mad at yourself when you're noticing that you're slouching or you're not doing the thing that you want to be doing. You might wish that you had started this 10 years ago, or blame your parents for not teaching you to do this when you were a kid. And guess what? None of that matters. You get to do this now or you don't. And if you keep going, you can do it. But being a bully to yourself is not going to make this any easier. It's going to make it harder. So be nice and treat yourself like a kid who's learning a new thing. You'd be really nice to them, right? Okay, number 5 is set alarms to remind you. No matter what your goal is, you will benefit from reminders. Remember, reminder, routine, reward. So whatever it is, you can let yourself know that it's time to go to the gym, or like a random sporadic reminder during the day to just like tell you to sit up straight. It can, you know what I mean? It can be like timed or sporadic. You can also set reminders that tell you that you're doing a great job. You can do phone alarms, emails, or whatever like robot you have in your house, like Alexa or whoever. They also will just voice remind you. So there's a bunch of robots that are here to tell you to do stuff. And before they take over the world, I feel like we should use them to tell us nice things. Number 6 is use sticky notes and positive posters. Number 7 is to have a reward system. Think about what that is. Number 8, and also celebrate. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't done much of that. Like, I've been losing weight. And just as a side tangent here, it's very, very easy to focus on the next thing, to notice how well something's going and be like, okay, cool, I'm doing this and I can do even better. We really do need, as the reward system comes in tangent with that, a celebration, a pause, and a reflection. So rewarded, reflection, and celebration, I feel like all need to go here on number 7. It's just, if you had told me a year ago that I would have lost 65 pounds, I would have been like, shut up. That's crazy. I would have been so proud of me. And I don't feel that every day. You know, all I can see is like what I haven't done. And that's so weird. It's really, really easy once you get into the routine of something to lose the perspective. So I just want to remind you to maybe like write a note to yourself when you first start about what your hopes are, and to keep that perspective, and to pause and reflect and think about what's happening as you go. Maybe there's a journal, maybe there's some sort of note system, whatever, but it's really good. And speaking of journals, number 8 is a habit tracker. So you can use some sort of like bullet journal if you're into that, but there's also a bunch of apps that track habits, and it can be some sort of like timer. There's so many apps that track habits. And if you're really into some sort of like consistency thing that shows you how well you're doing, that can be the reward system in and of itself, honestly. Number 9, try to focus on one thing at a time. I'd say for 5 weeks, if this is your first thing, and see progress with it before you add in a new goal. So, go for 5 weeks and just do the one thing. We're all doing so much. If you're trying to do something new, really just give it over a month and then be like, okay, how did that do? How do I feel about that? I added this whole new thing into my life and repertoire, and let me see how that did, how I feel. Do I feel like it's reasonable for me to add in something new already, especially something recurring? And if it does, then good. And then try that for 5 more weeks. And if it doesn't, then it's okay. You're allowed to just do one thing at a time. Also, try using your non-dominant hand to brush your teeth, hair, and eat to just increase neuroplasticity in general. Eat avocados, blueberries, walnuts, and other brain foods. Sign up for the word of the day emails to get new vocabulary words. And take magnesium and vitamin D supplements, because all of those things will increase neuroplasticity in general. And that kind of stuff in tangent with creating a new habit will help solidify the process. If you don't know what goal to start with somehow, you're listening to this and you feel motivated, but you're not sure with what to get started with, I would recommend adding a gratitude journal meditating for 5 minutes every day or going outside every day to create a habit to start with. And I bet you through one of those 3 things, you will begin to find a place within yourself that you feel like there is something that you specifically would like to work on. And if you don't know what it is, then you can also come work with me or join the Merriment Makers, and I will see you in there. I hope this was helpful, and maybe these aren't tips to necessarily ease the discomfort and find more patience, because those are things that we find internally, but they are definitely ways that you can create systems around creating a new habit and creating new neural pathways. I hope that you continue to question everything and that this gives you a little bit of a clue about why your brain doesn't want you to change, because it just wants to keep you safe, but you absolutely can change anything that you want to. And remember that you have to feel good to do good. I love you. I'll see you next time.